Ladies and gentlemen, today let's talk about a powerful truth. Don't let others empower your dreams. Your dreams are too important, too personal, and too uniquely yours to be placed in someone else's hands. When we rely on others to fuel, validate, or even define our dreams, we risk losing the very essence of who we are and what we're capable of achieving. Your dreams are yours alone. Our dreams are deeply personal. They are reflections of who we are, what we've experienced, and what we want to become. They arise from a place within us that no one else fully understands. While others might catch glimpses of our dreams or offer their opinions, they can never fully grasp the significance these dreams hold for us. This is why it's essential to embrace the idea that our dreams belong to us alone. Consider this: each of us has walked a unique path, shaped by our own challenges, victories, values, and visions for the future. These experiences are what make our dreams unlike anyone else's. We are the only ones who understand the why behind our aspirations, the personal reasons, desires, and needs that fuel our vision. To hand this power over to someone else, or to allow them to define it for us, would be like giving away a part of our identity. When we take ownership of our dreams, we reclaim our power and purpose. It's about acknowledging that no one else needs to validate or understand them for them to be worthy. Our dreams don't need to be good enough in someone else's eyes, they simply need to resonate with us. This allows us to stay true to our desires, rather than trying to mold them to fit someone else's expectations. Owning your dreams means having the courage to listen to your inner voice, even when it's hard, even when others question it, and even when you question it yourself. Self-doubt will arise, and there will be moments when you feel the weight of pursuing something that feels bigger than yourself. In those times, remind yourself that the dream chose you for a reason. It is a call to action that only you can fully answer. Being the sole owner of your dreams also means respecting your journey. Dreams don't come with a map. There isn't a set path, a clear timeline, or a guaranteed outcome. The process of working toward a dream is often filled with unknowns, but that's part of the beauty. When we are the ones driving our vision, we get to explore, adapt, and even change direction when it feels right, all without needing to seek approval. Remember, dreams are not just goals or to-do lists. They're expressions of who we are at our core and where we hope to go in life. When we honor our dreams as our own, we give them a stronger foundation. We're more willing to persevere, even when the journey becomes difficult. We're less swayed by others' doubts or criticisms, because we know that our dream doesn't need to fit anyone else's vision. So take ownership. Cherish your dreams for the unique reflections of your spirit that they are. Let them be yours, deeply and completely, because they are a part of you that no one else can replicate, alter, or take away. When you honor this truth, you step into your dreams with strength, authenticity, and a resilience that will carry you forward no matter what. Empowerment starts within. Empowerment is often thought of as something that comes from the outside: a supportive friend, a great mentor, or an inspiring role model. While these external sources can be beneficial, true empowerment must start within us. Relying on others for empowerment is like building a house on borrowed land. When our strength comes from within, it's authentic, resilient, and rooted in who we are at our core. To understand why empowerment starts within, we have to consider what it means to feel truly empowered. It's the sense that we have the capacity, the courage, and the confidence to pursue our dreams and goals no matter the obstacles we face. This strength doesn't come from others' beliefs in us, it comes from the belief we have in ourselves. No one can fully understand our capabilities, our resilience, or our vision better than we can. Only we know the battles we've fought, the fears we've overcome, and the dreams we're striving for. This is why our empowerment has to be self-sourced. Starting empowerment within ourselves requires cultivating self-awareness. This means being honest about who we are, our strengths, our vulnerabilities, and our values. It's about getting clear on our purpose and aligning our actions with it. When we understand what drives us, we don't need to look to others for validation or encouragement. We're able to remind ourselves of our worth and our capacity. Building this kind of inner empowerment also means facing our self-doubts and fears. Everyone has doubts, moments when we feel inadequate or question our abilities. Empowerment from within doesn't mean those feelings disappear. Rather, it means we learn to navigate them with self-compassion and resilience. We remind ourselves that fear is part of growth, and that we can move forward even when we're uncertain. This process of acknowledging our fears and choosing to move forward builds inner strength, creating a foundation of empowerment that doesn't depend on external praise or approval. Empowerment from within also requires us to take ownership of our actions. When we take responsibility for our choices, we build a stronger sense of agency. This doesn't mean we won't make mistakes or encounter setbacks. But when we hold ourselves accountable, we're no longer waiting for someone else to fix things or make us feel strong. We recognize that we have the power to change, adapt, and keep moving toward our goals, even when things don't go as planned. Another key to inner empowerment is developing self-trust. Trusting ourselves means knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. It's about believing in our ability to find solutions, make decisions, and learn from our experiences. This trust isn't something we gain overnight. It's a practice that builds over time as we make choices that align with our values and goals. Each time we honor our commitments to ourselves, each time we show up and follow through, we strengthen this trust, reinforcing our sense of empowerment from within. Self-empowerment also includes setting boundaries. When we're truly empowered, we're able to protect our time, energy, and mental space from things that don't serve our goals or well-being. Boundaries aren't about pushing others away, they're about preserving the integrity of our purpose and vision. Empowerment from within means we don't let others' opinions, expectations, or judgments define us or drain us. Instead, we remain anchored in our own sense of direction and worth. Finally, inner empowerment is about celebrating our progress and growth. It's easy to wait for others to recognize our achievements, but true empowerment means acknowledging our own wins, both big and small. Celebrating ourselves isn't about arrogance, it's about reinforcing our belief in our journey and our ability to make things happen. When we take a moment to appreciate our progress, we fuel our inner fire, reminding ourselves that we are capable and resilient. Empowerment that starts from within is lasting and unshakable. It isn't affected by others' opinions, nor does it fade in the face of adversity. It's a force that grows from self-awareness, resilience, self-trust, and purpose. When we cultivate this inner empowerment, we are no longer dependent on others to feel strong or confident. We carry our power with us, knowing that whatever comes our way, we have the ability to rise, adapt, and continue forward. Empowerment that comes from within is the most powerful kind because it's based on a foundation that cannot be taken away. It's the strength that keeps us going when things are difficult and the courage that helps us face our challenges head on. It's a reminder that we don't need external validation to pursue our dreams. We have everything we need within ourselves. When we embrace this truth, we're able to move through life with a sense of confidence, resilience, and freedom that no one else can give us and no one else can take away. Set boundaries for your vision. Setting boundaries for your vision is one of the most powerful and protective acts you can do to keep your dreams alive. Our vision for our life, our goals, and our purpose is deeply personal. It reflects our values, our aspirations, and our unique journey. But in a world filled with different opinions, expectations, and sometimes negativity, it's essential to guard that vision carefully. Without boundaries, our dreams can become diluted, misinterpreted, or even reshaped by the influence of others, which can lead to a loss of focus, confidence, and motivation. Imagine your vision as a delicate seedling. To grow, it needs nurturing, protection, and space to develop its roots. Similarly, your vision needs a protected environment to take shape and evolve. This means creating clear boundaries, mental, emotional, and sometimes even physical, that allow you to pursue your goals without being overly swayed or distracted by external factors. Setting boundaries around your vision starts with understanding and defining it clearly. This requires introspection and honesty with yourself about what you truly want and why. It means asking yourself what's at the core of your dream and understanding the personal values that drive it. When you're clear on these foundational elements, it's easier to identify what influences might serve or harm your vision. Without this clarity, setting boundaries can feel vague or difficult to enforce because you're not fully sure of what you're protecting. Once you have a strong grasp of your vision, it's essential to recognize the types of influences that could threaten it. These can include unsolicited advice, criticism, or even well-meaning opinions from friends, family, or colleagues. While advice can sometimes be helpful, not everyone's perspective will align with your goals or values. Not everyone will understand your vision, and that's okay. Setting boundaries doesn't mean rejecting others' input entirely, but it does mean being selective about which perspectives you let in and which you kindly acknowledge but set aside. For example, you might choose to limit how much you share about your vision with others, especially in its early stages. Dreams are often fragile in their infancy, and exposing them too early to others' opinions can lead to unnecessary doubts or pressures. By setting boundaries around who you share with, you protect your vision from premature influence. This way, you're able to nurture it in a safe, supportive environment until it's strong enough to withstand more scrutiny. Boundaries also mean standing firm in the face of doubt or negativity. People may not understand your vision or may even try to impose their own ideas on what they think is best for you. When this happens, it's important to remember that their opinions are a reflection of their experiences, fears, or limitations, not yours. A boundary in this case might look like politely deflecting conversations that feel discouraging or staying centered in your why, the reason behind your vision, so that others' doubts don't sway you from your path. Additionally, boundaries can involve setting limits on how much time and energy you give to things that don't serve your vision. Distractions and obligations are inevitable, but by being intentional about where you direct your energy, you ensure that the majority of your efforts are going toward what truly matters. This might mean setting aside specific times for working on your vision, even if it requires saying no to other requests. Learning to say no isn't easy, but it's an essential skill in preserving the time and focus needed to turn your vision into reality. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is protecting your inner dialogue. The way we talk to ourselves has a profound impact on our ability to pursue our dreams. Self-doubt, fear, and perfectionism can become internal barriers that hold us back. Setting boundaries for your vision includes cultivating a positive and encouraging internal environment. This means consciously challenging negative self-talk, being compassionate with yourself when you face setbacks, and celebrating small wins along the way. Protecting your inner voice helps ensure that the loudest, most influential voice is your own and that it's one of support, encouragement, and resilience. Boundaries are also about giving yourself permission to evolve. Visions change and grow as we do, and setting boundaries means allowing yourself the freedom to adapt your goals as you gain new insights or experiences. You don't owe anyone an explanation for shifting your path if it feels right for you. Boundaries mean letting go of the need to conform to anyone else's expectations and honoring the flexibility and adaptability that's often required on the journey toward fulfilling a dream. Finally, setting boundaries for your vision is an act of self-respect. It's a way of telling yourself this dream matters, and I'm willing to protect it. It's a commitment to prioritize your goals and guard the space you need to bring them to life. When you honor these boundaries, you create a sacred environment for your vision, a place where it can flourish and grow without unnecessary interference. This respect for your dream empowers you, deepening your confidence and motivation, and allowing you to move forward with focus and intention. In the end, setting boundaries for your vision is about creating a balanced relationship between your dreams and the world around you. It's about preserving your unique purpose and passion, so that as you pursue your vision, you stay true to who you are and what you truly want. With these boundaries in place, you're able to protect your dreams from external pressures, stay focused on what's important, and build a life that's a reflection of your authentic self. Embrace vulnerability, not dependency. Vulnerability and dependency are often misunderstood. While vulnerability is a courageous, empowering act that allows us to show up authentically, dependency on others for validation, encouragement, or direction can keep us from realizing our full potential. Embracing vulnerability without becoming dependent on external support is essential for growth, resilience, and living a life true to ourselves. To embrace vulnerability means to show up as our authentic selves, even when there's a risk of being misunderstood or rejected. It requires us to lower the walls we often build to protect ourselves from judgment, criticism, or failure. Vulnerability lets us share our dreams, challenges, fears, and triumphs in a way that's real and raw. When we're vulnerable, we're saying, this is who I am, and this is what matters to me. Vulnerability is empowering because it's honest, and honesty fosters genuine connections and personal growth. However, embracing vulnerability without slipping into dependency requires us to differentiate between sharing openly and relying on others to feel secure, validated, or enough. Dependency is when we begin to rely on others for affirmation, approval, or strength, believing that our worth or progress hinges on external validation. This can become problematic because it places our sense of worth or direction in someone else's hands. When we lean too heavily on others, we give away some of our autonomy and risk losing sight of our own values, goals, and unique strengths. The beauty of vulnerability is that it allows us to express our truth without needing a particular response. For instance, sharing a difficult part of our journey doesn't mean we expect others to have all the answers or provide constant reassurance. Vulnerability says, "This is what I'm going through," while dependency says, "I need you to make this okay for me." By practicing vulnerability, we become open to feedback and support, but we also maintain the self-assurance to continue on our path, whether or not others fully understand or agree. Embracing vulnerability means being brave enough to take risks and trust ourselves, even when the outcome is uncertain. This might involve starting a new project, expressing a creative idea, or opening up about a dream, all without knowing how it will be received. The willingness to take these risks is a powerful act of self-trust. Dependency, on the other hand, might keep us from taking these risks unless we feel assured of others' approval or support. When we embrace vulnerability, we become comfortable with the idea that we might not get the reaction we hope for, and that's okay. We're still capable, resilient, and committed to our journey. To avoid dependency, we must cultivate a strong sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on others' opinions or praise. This self-worth comes from recognizing our inherent value and unique gifts. It's about affirming that we are enough as we are, even with our imperfections and insecurities. This doesn't mean we don't welcome constructive feedback or encouragement, but it does mean that our worth isn't defined by it. By grounding our self-worth internally, we create a solid foundation that allows us to embrace vulnerability without fearing the loss of approval. A major part of vulnerability is being open about our struggles. This openness can bring comfort and support from others, but it's important to remember that our challenges are still ours to navigate. When we become dependent on others to fix things for us or to make everything better, we lose the opportunity to build resilience and self-reliance. Embracing vulnerability means saying, "I'm struggling right now, but I trust myself to work through this." It's a balance of allowing support while also recognizing our own responsibility and capability. Moreover, vulnerability means respecting our journey's uniqueness, which might not always align with others' expectations. When we're vulnerable, we allow ourselves to make choices based on what feels true to us rather than what pleases or impresses others. Dependency, on the other hand, might lead us to second-guess our decisions based on external feedback, potentially derailing us from our authentic path. Embracing vulnerability means listening to our intuition and making choices that resonate with our values, even if they don't receive unanimous approval. True vulnerability is also about being able to ask for help when needed, without becoming overly reliant on it. There's strength in knowing that it's okay to reach out for support, whether for advice, encouragement, or companionship. However, we must remain aware of our internal compass and retain our agency. Dependency might lead us to ask for help as a means of seeking validation, while vulnerability allows us to ask for help from a place of strength, knowing that we're capable of handling things even if we don't receive immediate answers. Embracing vulnerability over dependency also enhances our relationships. When we're vulnerable, we invite others to see us as we are, fostering trust, connection, and mutual respect. But when we become dependent on others for our emotional stability or direction, relationships can feel burdensome or one-sided. Vulnerability allows us to give and receive support in a balanced way, while dependency can create a cycle of constant reassurance seeking that may weigh heavily on both people involved. Finally, vulnerability helps us grow. Each time we open up, take a risk, or share a part of ourselves authentically, we build courage. We learn that we can handle rejection, criticism, or misunderstandings, and we grow more resilient. Dependency, however, can keep us in our comfort zones, limiting our growth because we're waiting for others to guide or affirm our path. MBR, seek inspiration, not validation. Seeking inspiration rather than validation is one of the most powerful shifts we can make on the journey toward realizing our dreams and becoming our authentic selves. Inspiration fuels our passion, strengthens our resilience, and encourages us to think creatively. Validation, on the other hand, can tie our self-worth and motivation to others' approval, leading us to doubt ourselves when external praise or affirmation is absent. By focusing on inspiration rather than validation, we're able to connect more deeply with our purpose and progress with a sense of inner fulfillment that doesn't rely on outside opinions. To seek inspiration is to look outward for ideas, motivation, and encouragement that align with our goals and values. When we're inspired, we feel a surge of energy, curiosity, and excitement that drives us forward. Inspiration reminds us of what's possible and helps us envision our own potential. It's not about comparing ourselves to others or measuring up, it's about discovering possibilities and using them as fuel to pursue our own unique path. Inspiration can come from many sources: people we admire, books, nature, art, personal achievements, and even life's challenges. Each of these experiences offers insight into what's meaningful to us and helps us connect with a deeper sense of purpose. Validation, however, is rooted in seeking others' approval or confirmation that we're on the right track. When we rely on validation, we may find ourselves constantly looking to others to confirm our worth or the value of our goals. Over time, this can drain our motivation and make us feel insecure, especially when we don't receive the validation we crave. Seeking validation can make us vulnerable to external pressures, potentially pushing us to change or abandon our dreams to meet others' expectations. When we prioritize validation, we give away some of our autonomy, allowing our self-worth to fluctuate based on others' perceptions. One of the key differences between inspiration and validation is that inspiration empowers us, while validation can limit us. When we seek inspiration, we're actively searching for ideas and influences that can add depth and dimension to our vision. We're not looking for someone else to tell us our path is correct or worthy. Instead, we're finding pieces of insight that we can adapt and integrate in a way that's true to us. Inspiration encourages us to remain open, curious, and willing to grow. It pushes us beyond our comfort zones, inviting us to explore new possibilities without fear of judgment or failure. On the other hand, when we rely on validation, we're often looking for reassurance rather than growth. We may avoid taking risks or trying new approaches because we're concerned about how others might respond. Validation can create a dependency on external feedback, where we measure our success or self-worth based on whether others approve of what we're doing. This can lead to a cycle of constantly seeking approval, making it harder to trust our intuition and confidently follow our unique vision. Seeking inspiration also allows us to appreciate others' achievements without feeling the need to compete or compare ourselves. When we're inspired, we see others' successes as a source of motivation rather than as a threat to our own worth. Be your own source of courage. Courage is the fuel that allows us to step into the unknown, face our fears, and pursue our dreams despite the risks. While encouragement from others can be uplifting, the deepest and most resilient form of courage must come from within. Being your own source of courage means trusting yourself to handle whatever comes your way and drawing strength from within, even when external support may be absent or limited. This self-sourced courage allows you to navigate life's challenges with confidence, independence, and a sense of purpose that doesn't waver based on outside opinions or circumstances. To be your own source of courage, start by understanding that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of fear. It's normal to feel anxious or uncertain, especially when taking on something new or stepping outside of your comfort zone. But courage doesn't mean waiting for fear to disappear. It means learning to carry fear with you, knowing it won't hold you back. When you recognize that fear is simply part of the journey, you begin to build a mindset where courage becomes a choice you can make over and over again, regardless of the situation. One way to develop this inner courage is to build a foundation of self-trust. Trusting yourself means believing in your capacity to adapt, learn, and persevere. It means knowing that even if things don't go as planned, you have the resilience to pick yourself up and try again. Self-trust comes from honoring your commitments to yourself, staying true to your values, and showing up authentically, even in difficult moments. Each time you face a challenge or make a difficult decision, you reinforce this trust, which in turn strengthens your courage. You begin to realize that you don't need to wait for anyone else to reassure you you already have everything you need within you. Another key element of being your own source of courage is learning to encourage yourself. Self-encouragement is about offering yourself the same kind of kindness and motivation you would give to a friend. Instead of waiting for others to say, "You can do this," start saying it to yourself. Remind yourself of your strengths, your past accomplishments, and the reasons why you're pursuing your goals. Use affirmation, self-reflection, and gratitude to build a mindset of positivity and resilience. By actively choosing to uplift yourself, you create a source of courage that doesn't rely on anyone else. Taking small, consistent steps outside your comfort zone is another way to cultivate self-sourced courage. Courage is a skill, and like any skill, it grows with practice. Each time you take a step toward your goal, even if it's small, you reinforce your ability to act despite fear. These small acts of bravery add up, gradually expanding your comfort zone and showing you that you're capable of more than you might have imagined. With each step, you build a deeper sense of courage that becomes part of who you are, a courage that doesn't fade when challenges arise, because it's rooted in your own experiences and growth. Self-sourced courage also involves reframing failure as a stepping stone rather than a stopping point. When you draw courage from within, you begin to see setbacks not as reflections of your worth, but as opportunities to learn and grow. You start to trust that every obstacle has something to teach you, and you become more resilient in the face of adversity. Instead of avoiding risks out of fear of failure, you embrace challenges with a mindset of curiosity and determination, knowing that each experience, whether successful or not, adds to your strength. Another way to be your own source of courage is by embracing vulnerability. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality, it's one of the greatest acts of courage. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable means showing up as your true self, even when there's a chance of being judged or misunderstood. It means sharing your dreams, speaking your truth, and allowing yourself to be seen without hiding behind a mask of perfection. When you're able to be vulnerable, you reinforce your courage from within, because you're no longer seeking safety in external validation. Instead, you're finding strength in your own authenticity. Setting personal boundaries is also a powerful way to strengthen your courage. Boundaries protect your time, energy, and mental space, allowing you to focus on what truly matters without being pulled off course by others' demands or expectations. When you honor your boundaries, you're telling yourself, my dreams, values, and well-being are important. This self-respect fosters a sense of courage, as you're no longer willing to compromise your vision or be swayed by outside pressures. You become empowered to pursue your goals with clarity, knowing that you're in control of your journey. To be your own source of courage, it's essential to practice self-compassion. There will be moments when things don't go as planned, when fear gets the best of you, or when you make mistakes. Self-compassion means forgiving yourself, letting go of self-criticism, and acknowledging that setbacks are part of the journey. By treating yourself with kindness and understanding, you create a safe inner space where courage can thrive. When you know that you won't tear yourself down, you become more willing to take risks, explore new paths, and pursue your dreams wholeheartedly. Finally, remember that being your own source of courage is about having faith in your unique journey. No one else will understand your path as deeply as you do, and no one else will know exactly what it takes for you to keep moving forward. This journey is yours, and by drawing courage from within, you're able to honor it in a way that feels true to you. You realize that you don't need to wait for perfect conditions or for everyone else to believe in you. You're already equipped with everything you need, and each step you take strengthens the courage you carry inside. When you become your own source of courage, you create a foundation of strength that isn't swayed by external circumstances or other people's opinions. You walk through life with a sense of purpose and resilience, knowing that you have the ability to face whatever comes your way. This self-sourced courage is liberating. It empowers you to pursue your dreams, confront your fears, and live authentically. You realize that the only approval you truly need is your own, and that knowledge gives you the freedom to become the person you're meant to be.
Thank you.